Hey everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott, and it's time for the Almost Friday show for August 11th, 2011.
Kicking it off and off the press. Looks like Rock Band's changing hands.
Apparently, because they were going to stop with it, thank God, but apparently someone has decided that it's a good idea to keep making more of them. So we're going to tell you about how they're bringing new life to the franchise, possibly. Then Tech Insight, we're telling you about the new Facebook Messenger app that doesn't suck.
Completely.
Because we had ignored it
It's true.
until just now, when we were like, we should probably talk about this on the show.
And then we realized it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, surprisingly good. So details on that later.
And finally, in Behind the Lens this week, we are checking out Olympus's brand new 12mm f2 lens for the Micro Four Thirds system. For those of you guys that have been looking for a nice, bright, wide-angle lens from Micro Four Thirds, stay tuned. This one is definitely something special.
For sure. Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Press. Starting off with some Rock Band news. If you are a Rock Band fan, you were probably disappointed when Harmonix decided that they weren't going to be making the game anymore.
But good news, Mad Catz, who made pretty much all of the accessories for Rock Band 3, have decided to get into making games, so they're picking up Rock Band 3.
Now, initially I would be worried because this is a company that has never made games,
Yeah.
and instead has always just made things to play games using. However, I believe that, I don't know how much Rock Band 3 was developed.
Rock Band 3 is already out. It's been out for about a year now, or been out since last holiday season at least.
Okay.
They're just throwing money into it and repackaging it with the instruments this time.
So that's the thing, is that because Rock Band 3 is already out, they don't have to make a game.
No.
They just have to maybe put some extra content into it.
Exactly.
And then package it with the peripherals that they already make anyways.
Yep. So they're aiming to redo everything for holiday season this year. But as some, or maybe a lot of parents in Canada know, they were having a hard time getting the Mad Catz instruments into Canada for last holiday season. I work in electronics retail, and we didn't see any of the instruments except for the keytar until like March. So hopefully Mad Catz is a little bit more on the ball this year, and we'll actually be seeing like the Pro Guitar bundles or like the keytar bundles and the drum bundles and everything. Which,
And then maybe we'll see what happens with Rock Band 4.
Yeah.
Rock Band 4 won't actually be a game. They'll just sell you a guitar. Because
That'd be kind of cool, actually, like a plug and play guitar, you know.
No. They'll sell you a real
Oh.
guitar. Because they
That's
realize
Rocksmith.
that, well, yes, but no. I'm talking about you go into the store and you buy a box and in it is a guitar that plays music because Mad Catz is like, crap, we don't know how to make games. So Rock Band 3 fans, you get a little bit of a revival.
Maybe I'll actually buy the keytar if it comes with the game now, so I don't have to drop like $100 on the keytar and the game.
I suppose. Yes. Speaking of dropping money on peripherals, a reminder that the Nintendo 3DS is having a price drop tomorrow,
Tomorrow, yeah,
which
on
is
the 12th.
Friday, which means for those of you watching it 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, or like a week ago, depending on how quickly you
So
watch
by
your
the time
shows.
you see this, it is too late to get your free games from the 3DS.
But it is right on time for you to save some money on the device itself,
Or you can wait till the holiday season and get a nice red one. Which
if that's your thing, I guess.
I kind of like the red one more than the other two. And
It's kind of a short segment.
It really is.
So we'll move on to new releases.
yes.
Coming up in movies is Final Destination 5. I don't know how it can be a Final Destination if it's taking 5 movies to get there.
I believe there
Seems
are 15
rather-
Final Fantasies.
Well, it seems like I believe the word final has just been abused completely
15
in
Final
entertainment.
Fantasies, okay?
So I guess they've got a new destination to go to this time.
And they're
Or
Glee.
it's Final Destination
You
5
ruined-
Death Goes
you
on
ruined my
Vacation.
you ruined my transition.
Yeah, but Final Destination 5 Death Goes on Vacation.
Torchwood?
Actually, that just turns into Broken Lizards Club Dread.
Speaking of Broken Lizards, Glee, the 3D concert movie?
That was a terrible transition.
You broke mine.
Speaking of broken, there's no Jane Lynch in this movie, which doesn't make any damn sense.
She's the best part of Glee. Like, the only part worth watching.
Well, unless you're really up on the singing and everything like that.
Yeah, that's what the album.
This one's in 3D though, so the words are going to be coming out at you on the screen.
And some stuff coming out that's not in 3D on DVD and Blu-ray this week is Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Seth Rogen
As an alien.
as an alien.
You notice how she changed her tone when she said Seth Rogen, because she hates Seth Rogen.
I still like his face, but as an alien, I can tolerate him.
Because you don't see his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also coming out is Super. I didn't-
Got Ellen Page and that guy from The Office in it.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's not the guy from The Office, though.
But he's in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
And also coming out is Mars Needs Moms, which I think no one really gave a damn about. It was kind of a subpar animated movie about aliens abducting
Bad on you,
mothers
Disney.
because their Martians needed to be mothered, I guess. It's a stupid movie.
It's the weird.
And there's some
animation
sort
that
of
got
like
me.
there's some sort of like fat space captain sidekick who's really not as funny as he's supposed to be.
Nope.
And with
Disney's
that,
kind of going downhill.
and with Disney going downhill, that brings us to the end of Off the Press this week. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight. Starting it off with some good news if you've been waiting to buy an HP touchpad.
I don't think there's that many people. Well, Sean. So, maybe there's more. So the HP touchpad there was a sale that was $100 off for like a weekend or something. And then HP was like, oops, that's the new permanent price. So $399 for a 16 and $499 for the 32 permanent.
Which is a pretty good price point for that device.
I think $399 is a good entry point for a tablet.
It is.
Especially when, they were always playing it up to be $599 as the entry point. So if I, as a consumer, go, it's $100 less.
Yeah.
And you feel good about it because you've had this $500 price point in your head for a while. So you'll never see the iPad that cheap.
No.
But I think it's a good place for people to compete, especially since the touchpad is a pretty decent product.
Well,
It's not all the way there, but
I got a chance to play with it today, and it's definitely the prettiest of the tablets. I think WebOS is, and I've said this multiple times on the show before. I think WebOS is one of the most refined operating systems out there. It's very slick looking. Everything works really well. Their notification system is the best, bar none. And it's just one of those things where Apple keeps winning because they have this massive app store behind them.
and on top of that, HP decided not to put enough horsepower into the tablet, and not
It's
everyone
true.
has said that.
It's not. I mean, it was fast, but it wasn't quite as snappy as I think it could have been.
And I think the thing is, they had the opportunity to put much more in terms of hardware in than what they did. They chose that hardware when much faster, better hardware was available, and at the market. Like the Zoom is more powerful.
Yeah.
So if you had the Zoom running WebOS, that would be freaking awesome.
I think it makes me excited for what the Touchpad 2
Yes.
could be.
And if they press it on keeping this $399 price point
It's a good price point.
hardware, I'd be more tempted to try a touchpad than spend the extra 100 and change on an iPad.
Yeah, for sure. Kindle has decided to move their services to the web.
Yeah, so we talked about the whole App Store restrictions on ebook readers a couple weeks ago, and so we said Kindle pulled their app because they're Amazon and they can do things like that and still retain their customer base. And now they have an HTML5 app optimized for iPad, which clever, but it works on anything that'll run HTML5. So even Safari and Chrome will.
Which is pretty much everything.
Apparently, it works really well on Safari, Chrome, and iPad.
Okay.
Doesn't look so great on the iPhone yet.
All right.
Because they don't have a model for the smaller screen.
It's not scaling properly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So it's probably coming,
Yeah.
but it's not there yet. And essentially, from what I've been seeing, it looks and feels like an app, which is what we knew HTML5 was going to bring.
Well, the thing is that we've been seeing web apps, at least on iOS, for a while, and some of those web apps are hard to tell that they're actually a Safari page. And with HTML5 getting progressively better and better at what it can do as far as operating is concerned, I'm not surprised to see them going this way. And I think that ultimately, although it's not as convenient as having a dedicated app, it's 95% of the way there.
Yeah, and what they've also done is there is an offline mode.
Okay.
So you can store a certain amount of your books and go back to them if you don't have an internet connection, but you still go through the browser.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how that works technically, especially on an iPad,
Yeah.
but whether they're working with caching or whatever. So that's not gone. You don't need the internet to get your books, which is a big thing.
Yes.
Because I know really that was only a small portion of it, right, is that internet component where you're going to get a book or look at new books. And it is built into the Amazon Web Store. So I think that's probably a really good way to bridge into this whole Web 3.0 almost with ebook readers, because the apps are simple and extremely integrated.
Yeah.
Which is like, wow, HTML5 is exactly what you need for that.
And the other thing too is that, you know, if you did have a lot of books and you were storing them all on your iPhone, iPad, it was taking up space.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, books don't take up a large amount of space; they're mostly text-based. But if
Yeah,
you are
hundreds and
if you are
hundreds.
leaving them on the server instead and only pulling down the ones, you know, you're going to go on vacation for 3 weeks. Let's download these 5 books.
Yeah.
It's going to mean that you've got more local space on your phone for things like pictures and other apps.
And then if
stuff
you're
like
going
that.
day to day, you know, wake up in the morning before when you're leaving for work, grab your iPad, download a book.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi on the bus if you don't have the 3G. And then if you want to read another book tomorrow, you can even switch books while you're at work, kind of thing. So it's not.
And if you are just actively reading on the web too, the amount of data you're going to use reading through the amount of a book you'd get through in a day is probably about
Yeah.
the same as emailing someone a picture.
Yeah, it's not going to be huge because it is, you know, text, not very big, and the ebooks compress really well.
Yeah.
So I think good move for Amazon. I'd like to see the other guys compete here. I don't know that they will directly because they're a lot smaller, but I think this is a good way to go for ebook readers for sure.
So we have interesting news regarding 3D televisions and the glasses that we use for them.
Yeah, so when 3D TVs came out, we thought, you know, no, not going to pick up in the home. Surprised it hasn't,
Yes.
really. I mean, their sales numbers must be decent because they keep releasing new models.
Well, the thing we've said before is that if you go out and you want to buy a nice television these days, they're often 3D capable.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, you might not be buying it for the 3D. You're buying it because it's an upper tier television,
Yeah.
and you just happen to be getting a 3D set while you're at it.
It's a good point. And they are starting to come down in price.
For sure.
I mean, you can still go out and blow $4,000 on a 3D TV if you want. In fact, if you're blowing $4,000 on a TV, it'll probably be 3D no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
But you could, you know, they're coming down to the $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 price range, which is where they're actually going to sell.
Yeah.
And the big complaint with 3D from everybody, including us, has been, why can't I bring my Panasonic glasses to Quinn's house who has a Sony TV and watch the 3D?
Yeah.
You know, because they're using the same kind of technology.
They're all
the
active shutter
technology. Yeah.
lenses.
So why can't they all sync up? So they've finally gotten together. It's Panasonic, Samsung, Sony, and a company called Expand 3D or X6. Expand 3D is how they're known. So Expand 3D is basically coordinating this universal standard for 3D glasses.
And I believe Expand was one of the companies that was putting the glasses in theaters that were using active shutter lenses.
Yes, I believe you're correct there. So you got someone who knows what they're doing with the glasses technology, and the big three signing on.
Yeah,
Now I know Sharp's not there, but they've really pulled out of the market a lot.
they have.
And you know,
And you know, that's the thing, is if you were going to go out right now and buy a 3D television, our recommendations would be Samsung, Sony, or Panasonic.
yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, the other people that aren't on board, who cares?
I think those are really the important ones, the movers and shakers in the TV industry right now.
Absolutely.
So to get them signing on to this, saying, yes, we want to make this 3D glass thing universal, good steps. I don't know when this hits. I don't know how it's going to happen.
And I'm wondering about backwards compatibility as well.
Yeah, that will be interesting because they are slightly different right now.
Now, the thing is that these devices are just communicating via Bluetooth to the...
Some aren't even Bluetooth, some are IR.
Yeah, so the thing is that realistically, there's just a set of code being sent
Yeah.
out. So it'd be pretty... It would be easy to assume that you could update your Sony Blu-ray player or your television with firmware
Yeah.
that would then allow these glasses to work.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to see the new glasses support the old televisions.
Yeah.
And the new television's coming, but the old glasses won't become universal. You will need the universal pair of glasses.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
makes sense. So I think basically the glasses are going to be smart and interpret all the code from all the TVs. And I don't see why you wouldn't include the existing models because there's not that many.
Yeah, and you're gonna piss off the people that actually bothered to spend money early in
Yeah.
the game to get 3D, and we're waiting around to be able to buy 4 or 5 pairs of glasses for the family.
And they're going to be $129, which is about what 3 glasses cost.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, most 3D glasses are around 200, so it's a little bit cheaper.
So I mean that's reasonable. I mean they're not super stylish or anything, but none of them are.
No.
So I think this is a good omen for 3D at home. I do prefer watching the active shutter. You don't lose as much brightness, in my opinion. But hopefully, this is a good sign for that. better price for the glasses, and you can actually use them elsewhere, which, big barrier, especially for 3D sports and things like that, which is they're trying to push in the States, like the NFL is in 3D now.
Yeah, because it'd be kind of cool if you could, not that this makes a whole lot of sense, but if you could bring your pair of glasses to a bar and then watch a bar television.
Yeah, or even if
movie.
you're having people over to watch, because you have people over to watch movies, but
So
not
you
as
might
often.
own 3 or 4 pairs, but then if
Yeah.
you got 8 people sitting around watching
Yeah,
a football
like-
game and some of them have 3D, it'll be good that you can share that technology.
Generally people gather to watch things like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is probably going to be in 3D this year.
Balls in your face.
Do I want to watch it by myself? Like, no, that's ridiculous. So hopefully it'll pick up. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Facebook messaging app, which is called Messenger.
Yes, it's just called Messenger.
And it's interesting because there really is not much Facebook branding on the app itself.
It's true, outside of the sort of classic blue that we've seen across
Yeah.
Facebook.
The splash
since the
screens on
beginning of time.
Facebook, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, so the thing was that if you go and you read the reviews of the app, a lot of people seem to be confused as to what exactly it is. Because everyone thinks that it's a Facebook chat pullout, which it kind of is, but it kind of isn't.
Yeah, because Facebook Chat is in the iOS app.
Yes.
So you can still do that, but it's kind of more immediate than that, per
Yeah.
se.
So, I mean, Facebook chat, it's been buggy for a long time, and I think Facebook has stopped putting effort into making that part of their app better, and arguably, they probably could have wrapped this into the Facebook app and it would have made sense, but they're trying to separate it because this application specifically is going after iMessage and BBM. And so what it's attempting to do is to be able to cross-communicate between multiple devices, so iOS, BlackBerry, Android, as well as your computer, and be able to communicate with anyone who has a Facebook account. And the thing we were saying earlier is you got lots of friends that might have an iPhone, and or you might have a bunch of friends that have a BlackBerry, but I guarantee you both of those groups of friends probably have a Facebook account.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a much broader audience of people that you can communicate back and forth with. Because right now, iMessages is great, but your buddy has to have an iPhone, and BBM is great, but your buddy has to have a BlackBerry. And this is going to allow you to communicate with anybody who has a Facebook account and downloads the app, which is also free.
Yeah. So we tried it out.
And it works well.
Pretty quick. If you're talking just iOS to iOS to Black, mobile, if you exclude the whole integration into the web, which
I
we'll
would
talk
say
about
it's
in a
nearly
second.
as quick as text.
It's sometimes quicker if you're on Telus.
Yeah.
But so it does use the data network, right? So you're paying for data. You can use this over Wi-Fi. You don't actually have to be on the cell network to use this, which is nice.
Yeah.
So you can use it on your iPad. I don't know if it has an iPad app.
Not yet, no.
They should, because that would complete the whole iMessage.
Well, you could always
function,
download it and just scale up.
True. So you can use it on data, so that's good. And you can use it on Wi-Fi, which is good. Really quick, the messaging is prompt. It comes up over everything just like a text message would.
Yeah, and you reply to it, brings up the application, which is nice. I'm sure it's going to support iOS notifications in iOS 5.
I imagine, yeah. The thing I really liked, I think, about if we talk mobile for now, is the app's dead simple.
Yes.
There's nothing crazy in it.
I tried to find settings to adjust stuff and realized there was no settings.
No. The settings allow you to change how frequently you get notified,
And whether or not you want location services.
and that's it. And the frequency of notification gives you like 5 options.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Now, what's cool about it is that what you can do is you can group people together, so you can text multiple people at the same time, which is great because if you're on an iPhone and you text 2 people, you're paying for group messaging as opposed to single text messaging, which is really annoying.
And on the iPhone, it doesn't organize it very well because you'll get the responses back individually,
Yes.
which is super annoying because then you can't follow the whole group chat.
Yeah. So what's nice about this is that you can talk to multiple users at once, and what's really cool is they have a little icon up in the corner, and it shows the pictures of the people who are in the chat, and whoever sent the last message becomes the larger picture, so you know who sent the last message, which
Yeah,
I
it's-
think is pretty cool.
Kind of clever. I thought it was like, oh, look, this picture looks stupid. And then I realized that, oh, no, that large picture means something. And it's actually kind of clever. Things I didn't like about, still on mobile here, is that it imported all my existing Facebook chats, because they're like, no, it's not Facebook chat, but it is Facebook chat.
Well, the thing is that because Facebook has integrated all of their stuff, your chat becomes messages as soon as you're offline, and if you reply and come back to your computer, it'll pop up and show you all that. Because it's all one and the same now, you are seeing all of
Yeah.
your Facebook messages as well as any of the chats that you had going.
Which is not a problem, except I know a lot of people treated Facebook before it was Facebook chat, like Facebook messages. It's kind of an email for people you don't have email for.
Yeah,
And which is not the same as SMS or instant messaging.
for sure.
So that kind of threw me for a whirl because I'm getting these giant messages in this little like SMS type thing.
It's true, but I think Facebook's trying to break down that wall of saying
Yes.
all messages are just messages, and that's the way we should treat them.
Which is a decent way to look at it, to be honest.
And it allows you to send photos as well. So if you aren't paying for picture messaging, I don't pay for picture messaging because I barely use it. Now, if I want to send Scott a photo, I'm going to do it through the
What?
Messages app because it's not going to cost me anything.
And to be honest, it works a lot better than picture messaging, which works like crap, at least in my experience.
Most of the time, yes.
My girlfriend has an iPhone. I have an iPhone. I'm at the grocery store. Is this what you want? Picture message. She deprecates it. Like
Yeah.
I've done it like dozens and dozens of times, and maybe 1 in 20 times it'll work properly, or in a reasonable amount of time. We sent 5 or 6 pictures back and forth in a few minutes.
Yeah, it was quite fast. And lastly, what we did test out, which we had mixed results, was going from mobile back to the computer.
Yeah.
And I left the mobile device, loaded up Facebook on the computer, and very quickly was able to continue the conversation. And then when I left the Facebook and Scott sent me some more messages, I didn't see them, but as soon as I opened up the Messages app, they showed up
Yeah.
as new, and then it continued from there.
Because
Whereas Scott had the Messages app open, went to Facebook, and it never translated over to Facebook and just kept doing it on the phone. So it's kind of hit and miss right now with translating to the computer, but you do have that translation as an option.
Because when you first did it, it worked really well. Because I think Facebook, oh look, you're online on the Facebook web,
And I stopped getting notifications on my phone, which is
which
good
is-
because I don't
yes.
want them happening at the same time.
which is crucial because you don't want to get, oh look, I'm being bombarded by the same thing.
Yeah.
So that worked really well. I think what the thing is you really have to go offline or something. There's got to be something you have to do on Facebook. You can't just leave the page.
Yeah.
Because if you just leave the page, there's going to be a dead time, which you can't really get around. Because, I mean, as far as Facebook knows, you're still on the page.
At least for a couple minutes until it refreshes its
Yeah.
cache of stuff and goes, oh, you're not there anymore.
Exactly. So, I think that's something that'll get fine-tuned over time, and you'll get used to over time as well. But, it just came out, so there are going to be glitches. But I think overall,
We were fairly impressed with it.
I think I would probably go to this before iMessage.
Yeah.
Just because I don't have to think, oh, do you have not that you have to because it's built into text, which is
Yeah.
nice, which this doesn't have. It's not really integrated with SMS at all. But most of the people I communicate are on Facebook semi-regularly. So even if they don't have the app, they might get it eventually, whereas...
Well, there's a pretty good chance that if you have a cell phone, you have more contacts on Facebook than you have on your cell phone address book.
Likely, yeah. Most people have hundreds and hundreds
Unless
of
you
friends.
don't have a Facebook account at all.
Yeah.
In which case, we commend you, but get on Facebook.
Now, Sam brought up an interesting point, is that not everyone's going to have the app, so you're going to treat it like an instant service, but for some contacts it won't be.
But that being said, if you do have the regular Facebook app installed, there is still push notifications for that when you occasionally get messages as well.
Yeah, but
Not as convenient, but there's still a
Again,
potential they'll see it.
if you're trying to talk to grandma, then you got to treat it like email, whereas if you're trying to talk to me, you got to treat it like SMS. So there's kind of this... I don't know. I like to keep long-term, long format, don't reply immediately messaging, and I need an answer. This is why I'm texting you messaging. Kind of separate. They don't work together completely in my mind.
It's one of those things where we'll have to give it time and see how much it gets picked up.
See what the adoption is. I would recommend trying it out if you're a big Facebook user and if you have a decent mobile phone, that's a decent smartphone, for sure, because it is on BlackBerry, Android, and iPhone, and has shipped already, so it's out there. So give it a try.
All right, and that brings us to the end of Tech Insight for this week.
Welcome behind the lens for the week. On the top of the docket, we're talking about Vimeo, little video news. Vimeo is if you don't know, it's kind of like YouTube, but kind of aimed a little more at the actual independent film community. And they've introduced a new pro service,
They have.
which is kind of geared at people who want to make... Basically, they want to become a video host behind the scenes and not incorporate that with their existing Vimeo. It kind of came out of... I don't see this as a... It confused me when they announced it a little bit.
Well, so what they've decided to do is they've sort of tiered off of their Vimeo Plus accounts, which is their paid membership that gives you more functionality, in a more of a business direction. So Vimeo is, thought of as one of the better places to go for content. It's got a little bit of a higher character of stuff that's on there in comparison to something like YouTube.
We're on there.
Yeah. When you watch our shows every week, it's from Vimeo. And so what they decided to do was that they wanted to offer a service for professionals where the professionals could have a lot more control over how the content's being displayed,
Yes.
where it's being displayed, and when it's being watched, what you're seeing. So what they've done is they've created this service, which is $200 a year. And what it gives you is full control over the branding of the video player. So you have all your color adjustability like you did in the Plus membership, but now you can take away the Vimeo branding and put in your own logos, and the logos can run over the entire length of the video. Much like if you were to go to a CNN or a National Geographic or something, you'd see those little logos in the video. So you have control over that to make sure that if that video is being played elsewhere, you've got some branding that people can't get rid of. They've also allowed you to create hidden videos that don't show up in searching that you can then send to clients if you're showing them dailies from stuff you're working on or revisions or stuff like that, password protecting all of them. And you can also have a portfolio page which you have control over how it looks, so you can put in your logos, you can change the layout of it and all that kind of stuff. So they're giving you a handful of tools to either to create a portfolio and display those videos, or use the videos on your own sites and have complete control over branding and embedding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting twist on video hosting, which is offered by tons of people.
Yeah.
Because Vimeo has a good reputation for that, and they have a really good back-end service for hosting video. They offer lots of space. Their servers are really quick. We have good experience with their bandwidth and things like that. So they're touting, look, we've been doing this great service for so long. Let's step it up. If you want to, instead of going through the Vimeo facade, use Vimeo services to brand yourself.
Now, what's important to note here is that it's not designed to be an upgrade from a Plus. It is different from a Plus.
Yes.
In so much so as that when you have a Plus, you have 5 gigabytes a week of data that you can upload, and you have unlimited views and unlimited streams, and all of your content gets saved locally. Whereas the Pro membership gets you 5 gigabyte single files with a maximum yearly upload and only 250,000 HD plays. So you actually have, in some ways, more restriction, but it's because they're stripping away their own branding to give it to you. So
and you can upgrade from that. If
you can.
If you go over, if you're getting 1 million views a year, you pay for those 1 million views, but you still get the same service.
Yeah.
And if you want more space, you can pay for the more space. Now, in terms of, I did a little digging in terms of like other video hosts. I won't use names, but it is pretty competitively priced in terms of if you just want to have your video out there and have it easy to access. I don't know if you can offer downloads from them. I don't think so. Just streams, right? Like plays.
I'm not sure.
That's the impression I got, because Vimeo generally doesn't let you. They don't want to be a file host.
Yeah.
They want to be a video host, which is different. Bandwidth implications are really different there. But I think it's a decent service if you're looking for a professional video host online.
But if you're someone like us who is creating short films and stuff, and you want to be able to get out to the community, and you have a Plus account, there probably isn't a whole lot of gain for you to
that's
go
the
to
thing,
a Pro account.
is that when you go to the Pro, you kind of lose the community aspect to it. Because by default your videos won't be entered in the video community. You can put them in.
Yes.
Vimeo's like of course.
And the other the other thing that they've done, which is part of that Pro, is that as of right now, if you want to comment on a video on Vimeo, you have to have an account, whereas the Pro videos can be anonymously replied to.
Yeah, so they're
allowing clients to make comments on videos that are being shared with them and things like that.
without having the annoyance of having an account to that provider.
So it's an interesting service to check out if you are getting into professional video and you're looking for some better hosting. So check out Vimeo Pro. Second thing we're talking about today is a really neat article. It came up last week, or actually earlier this week. And The Atlantic is doing a 20-part retrospective series on World War II. And this week they are showing off a bunch of color photographs from 1944 and in and around that range. Now, what's interesting about this is that color really was not predominantly available at that time. So most footage we see of World War II is black and white film. If we're looking at movies, it's all silent, 16, 18, 8 mil film and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see these photos. Now, the thing is that they are staged photographs, but the people that are in them are real people that are doing their real jobs. It was mostly taken stateside. It was part of something that Franklin D. Roosevelt put together, which was called the Office of War Information, which was something that he created to be able to sort of document what was happening back home for the war efforts. And it's really neat when you look at it. there was proper lighting used. People are posed really well. The focus was really well thought out. And you look at these photos and you go, this looks like it was taken in 1970s with a 1950s feel,
Yeah.
but it's from 1944.
I know. Like, if you look at they're really gorgeous photographs.
They are. They
and
are.
To think that these are really some of the first color photographs, period.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect them to be tonally sort of inadequate and stuff,
Yeah.
but they look better than some stuff we take today.
Oh yeah, the composition of a lot of the photos is really good. You know, the colors are really vibrant. As you said, the lighting is fantastic in a lot of them. They're really gorgeous photographs, and you know, it's a good. As you said, they're staged, which is, you know, it would be really cool to have, you know, photographs from, you know, London or Vimy Ridge or whatever, which would be really. But you know, this kind of, it's a good era kind of thing to put you back in that time. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
And you know, the thing is, if you're a photographer, if you're someone who likes art, or if you're, you know, a war buff, these photos are going to hit home because
Oh,
they
yeah.
really are something special. They just, you know, I don't tend to spend a lot of time looking artistically at photos. I'm much more involved in sort of the tech side of things. But I look at these photos and I stop and I think and I go, wow, you know, this was taken over 60 years ago and it still holds up today, which is really what's impressive about it.
Yeah.
So check out our show notes to get the link. They have 45 photos that they've posted in here. Check them all out. They're all really cool.
Definitely.
And check out the rest of this series on World War II because it's always good to remember that kind of stuff because hopefully that means that if we all know the consequences of World War II, World War III is less likely to happen.
Learn from the past.
Indeed. So the last part of Behind the Lens this week is our review of the brand new Olympus 12mm f2 lens for Micro Four Thirds. Now I'm going to start this off by saying this is the most gorgeous Micro Four Third lens I've ever used.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
And I would just like to point out, gorgeous in terms of photos as well as it's really nicely designed.
It's a very well-made lens. First off, it's completely metal. It's got sort of a goldish aluminum color to it. And everything's really solid about it. The mount, when you attach it, is very stiff. You've got a nice lock on it. The autofocus is very fast. The fit and finish is very good. The focusing ring is all metal. You have really nice smooth movements. But what I really love about this lens, and my big problem with Micro Four Thirds is that everything is focused by wire, which means that you're moving the ring and it's just telling a little bit of electronics how to focus in the how to change the motor, and it's not as accurate as other lenses that are manually focus driven where you're actually overriding, having a bit more control. So the thing is that you commonly didn't have a lot of feel for focusing, and you also, the ring would spin endlessly, so you wouldn't know when you're at infinity or when you're at closest focusing. What Olympus have done with this lens is they've built in sort of this clutch focusing system, much like the Tokina lenses, where you push the ring down and then you suddenly have a focusing scale. The friction gets much stiffer so that you have a lot better tactile feedback from it, and then it has hard stops. So it will stop you at infinity and it will stop you at close focusing. Now, what's neat about this lens is that it is a 20 centimeter close focus distance, which can get you really close. And when you're at the 24 millimeter equivalent that you get from this, you can get some really interesting shots of flowers, people, plants, animals, that kind of stuff by using the wide field of view, a shallow depth of field, and close focusing. You can get some pretty nifty shots with this. Now, optically, it's a really strong lens. F2 is quite bright. I mean, the thing is, people were hoping for something a little bit brighter, but with these kind of optics, because they're so small for the Micro Four Thirds format, it's really hard to be able to get something brighter than F2 at this kind of wide angle that's still going to be sharp. And the thing is, at F2, this lens is incredibly sharp. Virtually no chromatic aberration, very good edge-to-edge sharpness, and then progresses through the lineup quite well, all the way up to F22 on this guy. So I really like it. It's a bit pricey. It's $7.99 for this lens, but if you do compare it to some of the faster primes in Nikon and Canon in that wide-angle range, you're getting similarly priced stuff. You're usually going to pay somewhere in the range of $600 to $1,000 with any of the other companies for a 24 mil f2.8 to f1.4 kind of range. And although it might not be as bright as some of the options, it's going to be brighter than some of the others. And I really think this is one of the best lenses Olympus has made to date.
Well, yeah, and if you're big into the Micro Four Thirds format, you know, it's going to be a good option for sure. The close focusing, I think, was something I noticed by accident. I was playing with it, and it's actually really, like, you can get quite close, and you can definitely go crazy with that and get some pretty interesting shots. So.
Absolutely. They've put their new MSC motor in it, which is their movie stills continuous autofocus drive, which means if you are using a camera to shoot video, the continuous autofocus is quite good. It still does that sort of back and forth, but it's a lot less noticeable. So if you're doing something on a Steadicam rig, it's a pretty good lens if you're looking for that sort of movement lens where you want to be able to shoot a little bit more fast action handheld. It's a good lens for that. But just as far as stills are concerned, very fast autofocus. Probably one of the quickest ones I've seen to date. And just great lens all around. Olympus, for the love of God, put this clutch focusing system on absolutely everything you make from here on in, and everyone will buy your lenses. I swear to God. Unfortunately, they've got the really gorgeous new 45mm f1.8 coming out later this year at $400, but it does not have this focusing system.
Naturally, yeah.
It's got the fast focus, but not that manual override that's really nice and pretty, and I would totally spend an extra $200 on that lens just for that focusing. So with that, if you are looking for a wide-angle lens, your options at this point were pretty much the 14mm f2.5 from Panasonic, which is a nice lens and is cheaper at $500 or $450. But if you've got the extra money, this lens is just fantastic all around. Great build quality, great image quality, great autofocus speed, and really pretty. So
There you go, another great lens. Hopefully more to come for Micro Four Thirds from Olympus.
yeah, we've got a handful of new lenses coming out from Olympus and Panasonic later this year, so hopefully we'll get that 45. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get a chance to get a hands-on with the Leica 25 1.4 from Panasonic. So
Excellent. Keep the feel interesting. That's it from Behind the Lens this week.
Here, buddy, it's that time of the week where we try to make you laugh with something funny we found on the internet. Once again, we're going to our good friends at College Humor. I don't know why I call them friends. We don't know them.
We wish
Although we
knew
would
them.
totally hang out with them if they came to Ottawa.
Totally.
So they've made another great video, which is what they're, pretty good at doing, making great videos. This one is comparing the differences between a religious nerd and every
a
other type
normal
of nerd. So give it a little watch here.
The details reveal even greater similarities. For instance, have you ever listened to two religious people argue?
Mark 21:12 clearly states that worldly goods are evil, and Jesus threw the moneylenders from the temple.
Bickering over minutia, quoting the source material. Sound familiar?
Matthew 22:21, render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, because midichlorians are clearly what Obi-Wan meant when he said the Force both binds us and penetrates us.
Oh yeah, right. Like Obi-Wan would ever be that literal.
And that's just how they talk to each other. Have you ever had the horrible misfortune of telling a nerd you're not quite into the thing that he's super duper into?
Dude, you watch Firefly yet?
I haven't, no, because I don't like that
come
kind
on,
of stuff.
it's so
All
good.
right,
It will change your life. My Wednesday night prayer group is just the thing for you, pal.
And when
So the differences are shocking. Well, the similarities are shocking.
It's true.
Like, I'm going to tell you a story about my friend. I'm not going to name him. He's really into a book. It's actually been made into, well, a series of books, actually. It's been made into lots of films, a bunch of TV shows and whatnot. He meets about once a week with a bunch of his friends to talk about this book. He goes to church every week. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings. Your book club.
Mm.
Just saying.
The thing is that it's just, you don't want to get in arguments with these people because you'll never win. They'll just yell at you forever. And then when you do prove them wrong, they'll just storm away in, a fit of anger and
Sure.
then be mad at you for later. So
Sure.
you shouldn't argue with nerds of any variety because it's just not fun.
No.
Well, okay, it's a lot of fun, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And really, you could be making a sandwich, washing your car.
No, Quinn. Firefly sucks.
And with that, we've come to the end of the show. As per usual, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on Twitter at almost_Friday.
And if you want to send us emails saying why you think Firefly doesn't suck, it's contact@almostfridayshow.com.
So until next time, make sure you keep whatever kind of book it is that you read away from the masses. I got nothing. Something about space battles and Jesus and soccer.
Soccer Jesus in space?
Yeah. Good on it, Hollywood.